Hello everybody and welcome back for another VR review. Today's title is extremely overdue and we're going to be taking a look at Moss. Now why am I saying this game is completely overdue? Well, that's simply because I can't believe I waited this long to check out this game. This is hands down the #1 game that is recommended to me in my comments. And I will quickly admit that I thought a kid-friendly puzzle game with a mouse as the protagonist just wasn't the type of game for me. And obviously, I was just way too manly to play this game. Now, that being said, a puzzle platformer still is not my genre of choice, but Moss has done so well that I think just about anyone can get into this game. I did play through this title on both a Valve Index and an Oculus Quest. I will be comparing the two versions. While graphically there is a significant difference, you really can't go wrong playing through this game on any platform. If you like how I take the time to compare a PCVR game to its Oculus Quest counterpart, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and also leave your comments on what other games I may have missed. Moss is available on both Steam and Oculus for $29.99. Unfortunately, this is not a cross-buy title, so if you buy it for your Rift, you will not be getting it on your Quest and vice versa. And the game length is approximately 4 hours long, making the price point for this game a little steep, so I do recommend you pick it up on sale. This is an older title, so it will pop up on a Steam sale fairly often. That price tag is, however, justified just in the sheer level of detail this game delivers. From the moment I put on my Valve Index, I was immediately immersed into Quill's world. Quill is the game's main protagonist. She is an adorable mouse, and it's actually hard not to become attached to this character. The character's animations, how she interacts with you, and just the overall environments in this game will have you continually stopping and admiring what's around you. The way in which scale is used is leaning heavily on the strengths of VR. From one perspective, you have a fully fleshed out mouse-sized world, but if you take a moment, lean back and look around, you can see the human world scattered all throughout the background. And I actually think Moss might be one of the best looking VR games to date. That includes the fact that I just completed playing through Asgard's Wrath with a 2080 Ti. Now graphically, the difference between the Valve Index running on a high-end PC and an Oculus Quest is actually quite striking. While the game itself does not look bad on the Oculus Quest, it is just no comparison to the PC version even on low settings. The texture quality, increase in visual effects, and the increased frame rate just make the environments much more immersive on PCVR. That being said, this is still the complete game and it is just as fun on the Oculus Quest. It just doesn't captivate you the same way. But it was that captivation that really sold Moss to me. As previously stated, puzzle platformers are not my genre. Even though this game throws in a surprising amount of combat, I just wasn't completely sold until I started playing through this on the Valve Index and really started to suck in all those amazing environments. They helped me to fall in love with both Quill and eventually the storyline. I'll admit it, I went into this game thinking I'm not going to enjoy it, and my immediate approach to the storyline was, let's skip through this and play the game. Which is actually a complete insult to the amazing delivery in both narration and animated picture book this game gives you. On my second playthrough, there was zero chance I was going to be skipping the story, and I was just much more deeply immersed. Unlike other games I'm used to playing, this one is family friendly, and I actually spent a good portion of it playing with my daughter. I would cast to my TV, and she was in charge of jumping, which until platforming became too difficult was actually quite fun. Combat is not overly difficult, and the puzzles in this game I felt were just complex enough. I was never stumped for an extended period of time, to the point of frustration and quitting the game, nor was I looking at every puzzle like this is a simple joke. Quill will acquire new items over time, giving her new combat abilities, new skills for solving puzzles, and ultimately helping her take up that heroic mantle that she's moving towards. The game does a great job of actually making you feel like you're forming a bond with Quill in both the narration and in subtle ways, such as how she starts to build an elaborate handshake high-five procedure with you when you accomplish a task. She genuinely seems grateful to have you there by her side, and at the same time, you start to feel scared for her when she's in danger. Now, just briefly comparing the controls on both the Oculus Quest and the Valve Index, oddly, I felt the controls better on the Oculus Quest. This might be because this game was not originally designed for the Valve Index. This can actually be seen in-game when they're telling you which keys to press. They are showing you Vive wands, so there's been no particular update for the Valve Index. And while the game runs fine, I just felt I had a little bit better control with the Oculus controllers. That could just come down to the difference in thumbstick or a slight variation because this was not originally made for the Valve Index. Now this didn't prevent me from completing the game obviously, but I was a noticeably better platformer while playing on the Oculus Quest. Now the last thing I have to mention about this game is the overall pacing. It starts off very slow, introducing you to the mechanics and the gameplay, and I almost felt like this was going to be an overly kidsy game in the beginning. But not only does the difficulty increase, but so does the overall tempo and excitement level in this game. The final stages are fantastic and had my heart pumping. Upon completion of this game, I immediately took off my headset and began writing an email to the developers thanking them for this game. So in conclusion, Moss was the puzzle platformer that actually sold me, and one that almost anyone should be able to enjoy. As always everybody, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, go ahead, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments below, let me know what other games I need to cover, and I will see you guys on next time.